The North Atlantic, the ocean between the old and the new world, with its history defined along its coastlines. Some of deserts, others of ice, and others of cliffs as old as time, between the midnight sun and the land of first light. Here was where our modern world began, moving with winds that carried us in trade, food, and discovery, and with civilizations along its shores, built on the abundance of this great ocean. And just like us, those in the water share our same story. While some remain in their garden homes near shore, others make incredible journeys across vast oceans and narrow seas, heading north to the frontiers of the Arctic. Why they would come here, no one truly knows. But like our ancestors pursuing fate across great distances, so begins this journey for all of us. The beginning of a new season and the first light of spring. To understand the delicate balance and dependencies that we all share. In this story of the Northern Atlantic, a story of our past, our shared wealth and civilization, and of our hope for the future in this place we call home. Massachusetts, described by the first peoples as a land filled with abundance. Legend has it that the giant Moshop would offer whales to his people as food and material for their communities, before becoming one himself, thus sealing the peace between creatures of the land and the sea. Each day for the past centuries, boats would set out for the rich fishing grounds of Cape Cod to bring back the daily catch to Boston's many markets, in a testament of the prosperity of the New World built off the ocean. Yet, it was here where humans' complicated relationship with whales first began, with the 19th century commercial whaling in New England, laying the foundation not only for America's industrialization, but also sowing the seeds of the later collapse of both whales and cod, with their long-lasting impact felt through generations to this very day. While a necessity in its time, it was a classic story of boom, bust, and unchecked profiteering, remembered as lessons by many.
Moshe, in our belief, is this really huge giant, and we attribute him to a lot of the things that we see in our natural world. We have so many stories about him with all kinds of different parts of our nature and our culture and what we believe in. We hold whales really close to our hearts as Wampanoag people because in our belief, he turned us into whales. Because Moshe, since he was so sacred, he had these visions that there were these huge birds with long white wings and bodies made out of wood. And these birds, of course, they were the ships that the British came on. And so he knew that these people they weren't kind, they weren't friendly, they weren't like us. So he offered to change our people into whales. And so half of them went into the ocean with Moshe and swam away, and the other half are our ancestors. They are our family, they are people. They were once humans, but they are now whales. And so it's really devastating to see what's happening to the whales and what's happened to them just because of how close we hold them to our hearts.
Though now only as pages in history, it is Massachusetts' own people, the embodiment of the land's prosperity, who know the consequences when old wisdoms are forgotten and the balance with nature is broken.
So we were part of the coastal communities, Eastern Woodland, and seasonally we would live in different areas. In the spring and summer, we would gravitate to the ocean and the lakes and things like that in the water. We would fish for quahogs in the local bays and estuaries. We use quahog rakes, or we also use our feet. This is a traditional way of quahogging. We'd also collect bay scallops. That was a big part of our community. We did a lot of oyster fishing on Daniels Island, Papanesset in that area, all the way into Katuitt, in the bays of Katuitt. When harvesting anything from Mother Earth, specifically things that are in numbers or in quantity, we usually harvest a 3-to-1 ratio. Leave one for the creator, which is usually on the plant, or one that falls down so that it can seed itself and rejuvenate itself, and it's an offering back to the earth. And then you take one for yourself and your community or your family. So a 3-to-1 ratio. And that can be flora or fauna. So if you have a school of fish, you don't wipe out the whole school of fish. If there's an abundance of fish, you take what you need for that day. And because the fish are migratory, someday they'll come back around and it'll be okay for you to harvest them again. You know, we respect things in a different way. And we were always taught that we give back to Mother Earth as well. Mother Earth is very important, and because you take care of Mother Earth, she'll take care of you.
Far from the shores of the New World, another group is nearing the end of a long journey at the frontiers of the North Atlantic. Set among landscapes of white mountains and volcanic coastlines, the mixture of cold ocean water and warm currents makes the waters around Iceland some of the most productive, where longer daylights bring forth huge blooms of phytoplankton, the very foundation for all marine life. The rich seas have long given Iceland its proud oceanic heritage. Described as one of the most productive regions in the North Atlantic, fishing has always been one of Iceland's main industries, having prospered its people through generations while defining lives of many around the sea. With enough food through summer, not just for humans, but also for migrating whales that call this place home, the unspoiled waters and land in Iceland has become a sanctuary for its rich biodiversity. And it is here where a special few have made this place home. Some on a mission to uncover the island's mysteries, and others simply to watch over the lives of those who live here. The guardians of giants, who too protect our world in ways we have yet to understand.
back in the centuries, people would catch whales as a hunt to feed their families. The winters were harsh in Iceland. To catch a whale was important because a lot of meat would mean that you would have one more winter of easy surviving, basically. And in 1883 to 1905 was the most known whaling season of all time in Iceland, known as the Norwegian phase, where Norwegian sailors would come and build whaling stations, first in the West Fjords and later in the East Fjords. And they would hunt fin whales and blue whales in big numbers.
You can probably imagine there's a lot of risks to the whales. Luckily not so much hunting anymore, but they were hunted massively commercial hunting in the past, which made some populations very small and some are still recovering. There are some barriers to them recovering, such as entanglement in fishing gear, ship strikes, where the ships are hitting the whales. My name is Charla, and I am a marine biologist working in Husavik, Iceland. One of my main research topics is about whale entanglement and interaction with fishing gear. So looking at how to kind of solve the conflicts between fishers and whales. So this is obviously important because the fishing industry is a very big worldwide industry, and it's not likely that this is going to stop, and it is kind of overlapping with the whales. So I'm researching how to minimize the impact on the whales and on the fishers. So Skjaldbreið Bay is in northeast Iceland, and it is a very popular place for whales, dolphins, and porpoises. Many different species, over 20 different species have been seen there. And it's very important for a feeding ground for these animals. So there's 24 hours of sunlight during the summertime. And with that is major blooms of phytoplankton and then zooplankton and then fish. And that's all the things that the whales are eating. So it's a very important feeding ground. Most of the oxygen that we breathe is coming from the ocean, and coming from this phytoplankton, and many people maybe don't realize that. The whales are playing an important role in fertilizing the ocean, fertilizing the phytoplankton, and we need healthy oceans to live. So it's extremely important to protect the whales and the whole ocean environment.
That whale is just the meat, but whale as a live creature will give you a lot of benefits socially and economically. And when they die as well, the carcass will sink to the bottom of the ocean and give nutrition to like micronomic creatures. They are part of this circle of life. So preservation, yeah, definitely is a wise thing.
Across the ocean lies another set of coastlines. Hidden in mists, with cliffs that rise like walls from the sea, as dramatic as they are eternal. Beneath the surface, forests of kelp surround its coasts, in a rich greenery that crowns its edges, where few can call home. It is here in western Scotland and Ireland, where generations have lived at the gates of the Atlantic. Its rich seas providing for those above and also below, like the seals of Gaelic folklore, beautiful shapeshifters, living between the two realms of land and water, of man and sea, and a keystone species reflecting the health of our ocean. It is also here in spring where the search begins for another type of giant, with longer days and rich plankton blooms across the coast, drawing them from far across the oceans to gather here in the Hebrides. Like the seals and whales before them, they too were hunted through the 20th century, driven almost to extinction because of humans' greed. But Like returning spirits screaming silently from the depths, they have since returned, reappearing as mysteriously as they had left, as the last of their hunters faded into history near the turn of the century.
The basket shark is one of the 3 planktivorous species of shark in the world, and it's the 2nd largest shark, the 2nd largest fish in the world. So they grow to about 10 metres long on average, and they come here to the Sea of the Hebrides to eat the plankton that we get here in the summertime. So they migrate up from the south and from the west, a lot of different locations, to here in the summertime to eat the plankton, which kind of blooms off the west coast of Scotland, and that's why here it's kind of a hot spot for the basket sharks. So it's a pretty special place to come and see them, and really one of the few places in the world where you can kind of reliably see them in the summertime. So the Hebrides of Scotland are on the very eastern edge of the Atlantic, and the Gulf Stream, which travels from west to east across the Atlantic, is this huge current, and it pushes all of these nutrients up across the Atlantic, all of this plankton that just accumulates on the Scottish coastline. So we get loads of areas around Scotland where you get big plankton blooms in the summertime, and that attracts a lot of sharks, a lot of whales, a lot of big cetaceans, and it's a really, really healthy ocean for that out here.
The sharks come here both to feed on plankton, but also for potential courtship and breeding as well. We see a lot of behaviours that potentially are courtship. So a really important place, and we have a designation for marine protected area for the bass and sharks, which is really cool, the world's first, which just gives them an extra layer of protection while they're here. Against our developments and things like that. So any big industrial projects like wind farms has to go through quite a rigorous process to make sure there's no disturbance to the sharks, since it's quite an important area for them.
So the basket sharks historically have faced a lot of persecution, particularly in hunting. After whaling was outlawed, a lot of the whaling vessels and the whaling fleets shifted towards hunting basket sharks instead. So throughout the 1900s there was many hundred thousands of basket sharks killed by whaling fleets. And they're slow to recover, but I'm hoping with time they slowly recover. And now they are protected. They're protected in most countries, they're protected in Scotland for sure. And hopefully over time they begin to recover and the numbers come back to what the old records used to be from fishermen that would say that you can avoid them on the water. I hope one day we see them like that again.
We had an abundance of fish, we had an abundance of natural resources, we had abundance of flora and fauna. Indigenous people always had that intuitiveness to protect, conserve, and preserve what we have to offer and what Mother Earth has to offer for us.
I think it's extremely important to protect the ocean. The ocean is so important to our lives, and there is many things that we don't know yet about the ocean. So protecting it, at least 30% of it very soon, of course including the whales, it's going to be very important. It's vital for our future and the future of this planet.
The North Atlantic, our home in this great ocean between the old and the new world, of men and women who fight for our future, or of those who pass the wisdom of our ancestors, reinventing them for a new age, from one generation to the next. Between legends and the great whales, or of guardians and spirits that live beside us, it is here on the coastlines where our fates and destinies meet, between those of us on land and those in the sea, between science, knowledge, and the great unknown. For as they exist, so do we in our way of life. Only by knowing our rightful place in the ocean and living in balance as our ancestors have taught, with the ocean and what it provides to us, can we ensure the coexistence among all kinds and the continued prosperity for all. Here in the Northern Atlantic, our future, our home.
Oh, here we go. Shake it. Whoa. One.